Probably a lot of the exhaustion and depression that you feel is because you are a trailblazer. And you might not self-identify as a trailblazer, but you are. That's part of the whole village thing that we talk about on this podcast. You are living a life that is very different than the lives that any of your ancestors lived. You're doing something completely different. And a lot of you are trying to break away from the generational crazy that has been in your family. You're trying to do things a little differently. Or maybe you are in an industry where you're a little different and you're doing things a little differently than the other people in the industry. That one's near and dear to my heart this week. That is what we will talk about this week. We are also going to talk about how my stand-up comedy filming went, and we have a special guest, one of the most popular people here on this fine program. My daughter Lucy will be with us, and she is going to talk about what to talk to kids about during the holiday season. She is going to give you some hot topics that the teens and tweens in your life will be floored that you actually know about. We got very deep into this subject. You're just going to know all about what is going on with these TikTokers or YouTubers or whatever. I am here to serve. As usual, we will get into the main topic, the trailblazing thing, in the second half of the show. First half is when Lucy will come on and give us those tips, and I'll tell you how the filming of my stand-up comedy special went. Welcome to the Jen Fulwiler Show. We are coming to you from Austin, Texas. This is the podcast where you learn the art of the village hustle. That's being a hot girl boss, or hot boy boss, who knows that love and family and community are the foundation of all true success. Caitlin White is our lovely producer. We publish new episodes every Wednesday morning. We almost didn't this. I almost skipped this week. I came this close to skipping this recording this week, but nay. Fresh content for you this week. And don't forget that we have premium content on Patreon, patreon.com/thisisjen. The studio cat is in here, and I am watching her almost pull on a cord that could bring down my $2,000 lens. If I just start, those of you listening on audio, if I just start screaming a blood-curdling scream and using more profanity than you thought was even possible for a human being to know, like new words that you didn't even know existed in the profanity lexicon, you will know that I should not have left the studio cat in here, and she trashed my $2,000 lens. Oh, speaking of money, on the Village Hustle Patreon, we have 2 levels of Patreon. One is the after party that's after every show. We'll do that after this one. And then the higher level is the Village Hustle Patreon. I did such a girl boss episode this week. It just came out. I said how much money I spent on this special and how I plan to make it back and what the risk profile looks like of me not making it back and just losing the money. Sorry, Lucy, if you wanted to go to college, that might be out because of this special. But I went into all of those details on the Village Hustle Patreon. And when you sign up, you get all the newest content and you unlock all the archives. You get everything. That is patreon.com/thisisjen. And the link is also in the show notes. Before my 16-year-old daughter, Lucy, tells you what to talk to the kids in your life about during the holidays, how to strike up some good conversations, let me read 2 podcast reviews. One is from a 16-year-old. She is 16. Her name is Maria. I'm telling you, the demographics of this podcast are ever expanding. The 2 fastest growing demographics are kids under 18 and then single men. I'm telling you that they're rising up. They're making their voices heard. And also, this is true currently, this podcast is ranked number 135 in the comedy category of Nigerian iTunes, of Nigerian podcasts. I have,
nice.
Have I not said?
We talked about that.
Have I not said that my show in Lagos, Nigeria, will be huge. And I know you look at me and you're like, she's probably pretty big in Nigeria. Indeed. And you just watch. You think I'm kidding? You just watched when I show up in Lagos and it's sold out. So welcome to my Nigerian listeners as well. All right. Maria says, she's 16. She says, my mom started listening to your podcast in the car recently, and it was such a relief from this stupid news show she used to listen to all the time. Take that, NPR. Eventually, I started to really love it, and I listen to it all the time. Your parenting advice, especially on being calm, are so helpful, even to me with my little sisters. I really hope I can see a show soon. My mom said that you should just be her best friend, and we should wear WWJD bracelets that stand for your name instead of Jesus. Thank you so much for sharing your tips and props. See, I'm telling you, I'm crushing it with this 16-year-old demographic. I should have Lucy here handing out flyers for my podcast at her school, being
Seriously.
like, this is huge. My mom's podcast is very big with you people. Carla says, Dear Jen, thank you so much for making this podcast. She's Irish, by the way, so I should read it in an Irish voice. Dear Jen. No, I'm just kidding. I can't do an Irish accent. Thank you so much for making this podcast. You are helping this mom of 3 and piano teacher pursue her calling as a classical pianist. I've had setbacks, including losing part of my hearing, and life is so busy that it's hard to find time for my music, but I can see how important it is. I know that when I am playing music every day, I'm living my best life, and it's a gift to my family. I'm also now learning the violin. You make me laugh, and I find the funny side of things and take life less seriously. Thanks a million, Carla. And again, you got to please read that in an Irish tone of voice. Okay, I should not have left the studio cat in here. Lucy, I was actually just about to throw to you, but I'm going to Phil. Could you let this cat out? Could you go let her out? Okay. Here we go. All right. We're letting the studio cat out. So friends, pick her up to make sure. Listen, we're recording this Thanksgiving week. Everyone's lucky they're getting fresh content. Oh, wow. Okay, now we have Caitlin. Oh, okay, this is so funny. Caitlin and Lucy are all right. Bye, Kitty. Nobody else is recording Thanksgiving week. You might have some podcasts that have some content, but they recorded it like 2 weeks ago. This is actually being recorded Thanksgiving week. So if there's a slight vibe of Jen doesn't care anymore, that would be
right.
why. And I just filmed my comedy special last week. So, I mean, truly the level at which I don't care anymore. Okay. Now, Lucy, you are 16, and I recommend to my listeners that when they are doing family things for Thanksgiving, they should try to talk to the teens and tweens in their life. You guys have a lot of interesting things to say. And I was trying to think of subjects we could recommend that would get the young folk talking. Now, one thing, can I run one thing by you? Yeah. I have noticed if you bring up Mr. Beast, then everyone has an opinion on him. Put the mic close to your face there. What do you think? Would that, like, if someone's like, "Hey, what's up with Mr. Beast?" Do you think that would work?
I think that it depends on the age of the child.
Okay, what age range is a Mr. Beast age range?
I'm gonna say like 10 to 14 would know exactly what's happening with Mr. Beast, but I'm not really as updated.
So podcast listeners, you can ask open-ended questions if you're trying to make conversation with a 10 to 14-year-old. This is good for my single listeners, because you know how it is. You go to grandma's Thanksgiving and you get put at the kids' table, right? Because you're not married. That used to happen to me. I was like 26 and getting sat. I went to a friend's Thanksgiving thing and I got sat at the cardboard table with the kids and I didn't know what to talk about. So if you get sat at the children's table and it's ages 10 to 14, you say, "Hey, what do you think about that thing Mr. Beast did?" And what's great about Mr. Beast is this man is a machine. He's burying himself alive. He's giving away money. It's just some new drama with him every day. So you don't even need to know what you're referring to. Just say, "Man, what do you think about that thing Mr. Beast did?" And then that will get the kid in that age range talking, correct?
Correct. And he has like 5 channels in all different languages. So this isn't really, even if your family doesn't speak English because you're from Nigeria, sometimes.
And that's now you're really well, Lucy. Actually, English is one of the key languages of Nigeria. We're working on the multiculturalism segment. There, a lot of people speak English in Nigeria, which is how this podcast is so massive over there.
True.
So, wait, does he speak all these languages, or is it dubbed over?
It's a dubbed.
Why don't we do that with this podcast? Why am I only in English?
I mean, I'm not exactly
Wouldn't that
sure.
be funny to get a man?
Exactly.
Oh, that would be so funny to have a man translating this in Spanish, like, soy muy divertido, like with me, my mouth moving in English. Well, just wait for that. I mean, and just to be annoying, I would do the most bizarre languages. There would definitely be Spanish, got to represent for my Spanish speaking people, but everything else, it would be like Gaelic. Hang on. I want to make a solemn promise to the listeners of this podcast, to my daughter Lucy, to my friend and producer Caitlin. I want to make a solemn promise that when the Comedy Millions come in, I will be like Mr. Beast and have different language channels, all dubbed over in a man's voice. I mean, like James Earl. Let's face it, it wouldn't be that different than my voice. I have a pretty deep. They would actually probably be higher than my voice. But this is the part that I promise you. This podcast will be in Old Norse, the language of the Vikings, and I will take it very seriously, and I will act like everyone cares. I'll be on my social being like, man, my Old Norse YouTube channel is just blowing up. It's like kind of a thing and everyone's into it. And now we all know it'll get 2 views. Well, frankly, it'll be 2 more views than this podcast channel currently gets. But I promise you that when I am a bored millionaire who's so successful and has so much money that I do not know what to do with it, I will hire an Old Norse scholar to translate every episode into Old Norse, and I will go on my Instagram and I will post clips unironically, like dead seriously, and be like, what, you guys don't speak Old Norse? Like, get with the program. It's going to be incredible. And this is why you guys need to support my path to fame and riches. I will not be a boring millionaire. I will actually do interesting things with it. And I bet you'd be a good rich kid, Lucy.
Yeah.
I feel
absolutely.
I feel like you'd really do good things with it. Okay, so Mr. Beast is for the 10 to 14-year-old age range. Now, there is some drama that people your age, so 16, high school age, are talking about, and people can talk about this during the holidays. This is good family conversation. What are we talking about, Lucy?
So, we're going to talk about my favorite things, and I'm praying that everyone else in my age range is interested in it, so that I'm also not weird.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that'll be weird if the YouTube comments are like, literally nobody follows this. Your daughter's a shut-in.
Exactly,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my first thing is my favorite beef on the internet right now being Dream and
Wait, what? Now, see, I'm going to pause you because nobody knows.
I was going to explain.
Okay,
I was going to explain.
Okay, all right,
so
good.
Let me just introduce you here. So there's a show called The Amazing World of Gumball. And it's animated, so they have voice actors. So the main character, Gumball, had a voice actor who's like 20 now. And then Dream, who's like getting up there. And he's a Minecraft.
What, getting up there like what? He's 27 or something?
Yeah. He's
ancient.
He's ancient, so he's like 25. And and so anyway, he and this voice actor, and he's a Minecraft YouTuber, they have this silly beef happening. And
okay, so what is the Gumball actor's name?
I don't know. Everyone calls him Gumball.
Okay, so we will then just call him
Gumball.
Okay, so Gumball and Dream. These are this is the value that you're getting from this podcast. You will actually now know a lot about the goings on of Gumball and Dream. Gumball and Dream, they have previously had a beef. This has been a long-standing thing.
No,
right?
That's what makes it funny. It is
didn't?
No, it is the most random thing I've seen in my entire life. And that's what makes it the funniest thing happening on the internet currently, is that it's out of the blue. And why were they at the same party? I don't know.
I see. Okay. So, and let's back up briefly. Now, the more famous of these two people, of course, is Dream. I have heard his name. And for a long time, his identity was unknown. People didn't know who he was, but then a picture started circulating, and I guess, has he shown his face yet?
Yes, so that was also a big event like last year, I want to say, or maybe early this year, where he live streamed it. So he live streamed his face, and that became a meme in itself because he just didn't look how people thought he would.
Yeah. How do we say that delicately? People weren't like, is he actually a supermodel? Is this chiseled jaw Adonis god? Like, what mountaintop did he float down? It wasn't that kind of reaction. That's what Lucy's trying to delicately say. But that's what I was trying to delicately say. But so everyone can practice this, okay? Everyone can practice saying you turn to the child who's sitting at the card table with you at Thanksgiving dinner, and you put some mashed potatoes and peas on your fork. Obviously, you mix them together. That is the only way to eat mashed potatoes and peas. And that, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have any dissenting voices. That would be insane. And as before you put this fork full of food to your mouth, you dip it in gravy a little bit. And so then you turn to the kid who's at the card table with you, and you say, hey, so we know what Dream looks like now, huh? And see, that's, now we're starting a conversation. And then when you go into the Gumball beef, they're going to be blown away. Okay, so go ahead, Lucy. So what happened with this guy, Gumball, who he and Dream did not previously know each other?
Yeah, so what we think, it's speculation, which makes it more fun.
Yes.
Is that they met at a party, and somehow they ended up in an Uber together.
Okay.
And Gumball does not like Dream, probably because he cheated in Minecraft.
Wait, who cheated in Minecraft, Gumball or Dream?
Dream, because Dream was a Minecraft YouTuber.
Oh.
And he made his career off of doing some really impressive stuff in Minecraft. And it turns out that he was cheating, which is awful. Like, it was a huge controversy.
And let me just tell you, in case anyone was having a good day, for my adult listeners, I just want you to know, so this guy Dream rose to fame taking video of himself playing video games. His net worth is $11.3 million, and he currently makes, just from YouTube, $20,000 a month, but that doesn't include sponsorship and, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. So just in case you thought that a loving God exists. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Catholic.
And
of course. No, and, you know, as Catholic, so there's actually an encyclopedia you should read. It's Salvavici Dolores, John Paul II letter on suffering. Salvifici Dolores. And that's something that you could turn to if you're wondering why Dream's net worth is 11.3 million, and maybe you work like as a mechanic, but you sweat of your brow all day long, and your net worth is not quite at that point. You can read the apostolic letter on the meaning of human suffering. Okay, go ahead, Lucy.
So first of all, if we're speaking of suffering, this kind of made me upset that since, you know, the peak in his career around 2020, when us kids had nothing better to do, other than sleep on Zoom calls, he has lost almost 100% of his viewers. He has 6 million viewers still. If that tells you
Dream?
Yeah. If that tells you how famous he used to be, he's lost like 89% of his viewers or something, and still has like an average of 6 million.
Wow. That's like this YouTube channel, except never having had any viewers. I'm like, we just skipped to the losing them part. So YouTube revenue is probably down. He's probably panhandling, down on his luck. His net worth is probably only 10.1 million
Which
now.
is horrible.
It's horrible. Who can live like that? I'm going to get to a point where I'm like, I just can't live on 10 mil, you know? It's just like, I just kind of have a standard. Okay, Lucy, so he's down on his luck. People are not, and meanwhile, how petty do you think he is about Mr. Beast? Because Mr. Beast is still out there, right?
Yeah.
He's still killing it.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast viewership is not down, right?
Not at all. I mean, because he keeps making more channels, and
So
well,
in all these different languages,
exactly.
And he hasn't even gotten to his Old Norse channel, which is going to be huge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
and
burgers.
and a burger joint. There was some controversy. Yeah. Mr. Beast has his own like beast burgers or something. They're not made out of like beasts, you know. But that does sound weird. Yeah, having your name Mr. Beast and then selling animal products is slightly weird. But is it working? Hang on, Mr. Beast, not net worth. I don't want to know. It's too depressing. Mr. Why is the first thing that comes up Mr. Beast hamburguesas Mexico? What is he doing? What is he doing to my people? Like, oh my gosh.
I told you he had all these different channels.
Oh my goodness.
So they're called smashed beast burgers. I don't like the name beast burgers. It just seems like it's made out of dragon meat or something. It's like something, it's like water buffalo, you know? It's like, is this a cow or not? What are we putting in here? Oh, oh my gosh. They have one locally, Lucy, to us. Yes.
Yeah. One time, one of my siblings made you drive her there.
I don't remember that. Really? Okay.
Yeah. She's had a beast burger.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So another topic of Thanksgiving conversation when you're talking to the kids, you can say like, "Hey, better than the beast burger, am I right?" Okay, now go it now, but we're not talking about Mr. Beast. We're talking about Dream, who is down on his luck and is, unbeknownst to him, beefing with a guy whose nickname is Gumball. Okay.
Yeah. So, this silliness ended in one of the funniest Uber rides I've ever seen. Because unbeknownst to me, the Uber driver was also involved in a beef at some point.
Wow.
Which, there was too many bad words to show what the Uber driver was saying, but I do have a clip here of just part of the words being thrown around, mostly to Mr. Beast here. So
okay, and let me just tell you guys that I put Caitlin to work getting the language out. We don't really know how well it worked, so that can be a little Thanksgiving treat for you if we didn't.
Sorry, I misspoke. I don't want to get the beef mixed up here. It was Gumball speaking to Dream here.
Okay. Now, wait. How did they end up in the same Uber if they don't know each other?
Good question.
And Gumball's sitting in the front seat, right?
Yes.
We'll see in this video. And Uber drivers hate that.
Yeah. And so that's kind of a mystery to me. If any of my fellow 16-year-old fans that are watching this right now would like to, leave a comment on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, see, she's good at this.
Happened.
Like and share. Yeah.
And share.
Yeah.
And leave a little comment on YouTube to tell me how this happened. I'm also very interested.
Well, see, and there you go. The whole thrust of this segment is things to talk about with your young family members at Thanksgiving. So roll up to grandma's, go to your young cousin or niece or nephew and say like, dude, bro, how did Gumball even get in that Uber? Am I right?
Yes.
And so then now Thanksgiving's fun.
Exactly.
Now you will have a fun time. Okay, so we'll play the video. We think we've bleeped out the language, but we don't know. This is Gumball, who is way less famous than Dream, who we do have a little asterisk, way less famous than Mr. Beast because his career's kind of plateaued.
Yeah.
Okay, but Mr. Beast is not involved in this. Dream has called the Uber and is in the Uber. Gumball jumps in the front seat for like no reason. We don't know why. They were just at the same party. And then Gumball starts saying the following to Dream. Okay, Now, go ahead.
Do not understand that your literacy level needs to be brought up from Mariana Trench, and you have issue with your intelligence. When the bites come or the ants come at me, it'll take 10,000, 100,000 of them to take me down. So that's how minuscule you are to my size, right? My stature of intelligence, character, body, and reverence in the world.
Yeah, I was just saying that to another comedian yesterday. Well, I like the Marianas Trench, the reference. That's good. So he just starts. So Gumball, who no one's really ever heard of, jumps in the front seat of an Uber and just starts yelling at Dream about how he's nothing, like for no reason.
Yes, and everyone is on his side.
On Gumball's side?
Yeah.
But he just verbally assaulted Dream. See,
No.
So did you guys see the Thanksgiving conversations, the holiday conversations that you can be having?
No, because
go
we
ahead.
hate Dream. We don't like Dream.
Oh, they don't like Dream. Some
Exactly.
people,
So
but some people like Dream.
Obviously, 6 million followers.
Yes, so I would say that the people that like Dream
They have a reputation.
they have a reputation of sorts.
This video is going to blow up, dude. I'm going to get like 200 views on this one. I am so excited.
Yeah, you're
Start a
gonna
beef with Dream. That's my
finally-
path to fame.
Yes.
Finally, your YouTube video is gonna get like 10 views.
It's going to be
amazing.
Amazing. I'm taking over.
Yeah. But no, so we don't like Dream.
Okay,
'cause
okay,
he
okay.
cheated, and we don't like that he
Oh,
cheated.
right. He cheated his way. Yeah. And it's like just playing video games for money is already, adults feel like that's like cheating at life. But then he cheated at the actual.
Yeah, and he
So,
betrayed
okay.
his audience, which is why he lost like 87% of his viewers.
I
because,
see,
Yeah,
okay.
and there was a reputation around his fans anyway, so it didn't really work out for
I
him.
see.
But we don't like Dream.
So people heard what Gumball said and they're
And we're
like,
like, yes.
mood. Yeah.
They said, you're saying what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. But there are many mysteries to unpack here, such as how did Gumball end up in the Uber? And did you say the Uber driver he's somehow dragged into this now?
Yes, exactly. So in the beginning of the video, if you would like to look up this video when your children are not in the car, it is just Gumball getting lectured by the Uber driver, and the Uber driver is like, you gotta get your life together, and Gumball's like, you're stupid, and it is just insults are flying. I think everyone kind of has beef, and the best part of this video is that the video was not recorded by Gumball, and it was not recorded by Dream. It was recorded by a fourth person in this car. So why is there a clown car of people in this Uber after this party? We still don't know.
This is more intriguing than the JFK assassination video. This is like there's someone on the grassy knoll. We don't know who it is. We don't know who the fourth person was.
No, because everyone thought it was Dream recording, but I was looking at sources called TikTok, and apparently also it wasn't him filming, but also this happened months ago. But they started to argue on Twitter, so Dream dropped the video thinking it was like a gotcha moment, like, oh, you're never gonna come back from this. And then everyone is on Gumball's side.
Oh, so Dream thought it was this mic drop moment. He's like, look, you're comparing yourself to Michelangelo and saying my talent is in the Marianas Trench. And then everyone's like, yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking too.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, but we don't. Okay, well, maybe everybody was jumping in the Uber. Delayed reaction. That was really funny when you referred to it as a clown car earlier. That's very good. See, my kids are funny. Yeah, like maybe it was like a clown car where it's like the whole city was just getting in this Uber, taking video,
And maybe Mr.
talking.
Beast was there.
That's true. We don't know. Maybe he's going to drop a video.
Another
see. He's like, I
element.
stuffed myself in the tailpipe of a car for 3 hours. Okay.
I recorded the Dream beef for
Right.
10 hours.
Right.
No, but there's another element happening
the
here.
plot thickens.
There was another element, and I just had it in my head.
Okay, the Uber driver, we covered
Uber
that.
driver,
We covered the
right.
Mr. B. I'm sorry, Dream.
Yeah.
We covered Gumball.
Oh, yes, Gumball. Okay, so there's another element on why we're all on his side is that the amazing world of Gumball, the show,
Yeah.
it is a classic. Like, I don't know anyone my age that didn't watch it growing
Okay.
up. And if other people didn't watch it, they're definitely the minority.
Okay.
So we all think of this Gumball guy, and we're like, this is the guy we watched growing up. And the character Gumball is kind of known for being like a savage of sorts. So everyone is like, oh my gosh, he's channeling Gumball. So now that adds to the element of silliness, that it's like this animated cat is screaming at Dream it's like an onion.
That would be like if the map from Dora was like in an Uber, like yelling at me or something. Like, I'm not a chart. You want to take the, and it would be like, that's the map's energy. That would be, wow, multi-layered. Okay, so see, look at what this podcast has done for you. Now you have this whole thing to unravel while you are drinking your grape juice at the kids' table at the Thanksgiving dinner. And was there a second subject, or was this the one? I mean, this is so much.
There was a second one.
If
we want to dive into it.
Sure. It's Jen's giving. This is Jen's giving.
So this is my personal favorite running TikTok joke.
You
follows
told me.
him.
Okay.
So there was this guy, and he just offered the most horrible dating advice you had ever heard on TikTok. And so, anyway, he got a lot of, hate for this because people were like, this doesn't make any sense. And then a YouTuber, made a video about him. And so he then released a diss track of sorts to,
A diss track is the word she said. That is some constructive criticism that is aimed at,
his audience, his haters. This is a video he made for his haters. Here.
Do we have it? Did we edit Caitlin? Did we edit language?
There was no language, which made it better.
Does it have anything copyright infringement that's going to get a strike against my channel?
Okay, yeah, good. I believe it's him freestyle.
Okay. Fingers crossed. All right, fingers crossed. Here we go.
So I've been getting a ton of hate comments, and I just want to formally ask you to please stop. Step one, I never get tired of the hate. You gotta be good before you ever be great. And I know the hate comments only happen cause they bored. They all bench players staring at the scoreboard. Relationship in the...
Okay, yeah,
I think we cut it off before Caitlin had to do too much editing.
Exactly.
Who is this gentleman?
So I genuinely don't know his name.
But he's viral, you know of him. Okay.
Yes, exactly, because he is known as Kade Board Guy. Because of the way that he was rapping, everyone made fun of his rapping voice there. They thought that he was doing a weird accent where he was trying to sound like a rapper, but he's not. So he has become a ginormous joke because he's Kade Board Guy.
Wait, and what were the words that he was actually saying?
Because they're bored.
Say the whole sentence.
Wait,
okay. He said cause they bored.
Yeah,
but it sounded like Cuddy board.
Yeah, it's Kade Board.
So why did that go viral?
Because we already thought that he was kind of stupid for his dating advice.
Because he was giving bad dating advice.
Yeah.
I see.
And so people just will not let him live this down, and it's almost a thing on TikTok, like a subcategory of he's not blocking Kade Board from his comments. He even is kind of playing into it. He said that the people that are mostly men that are hating on him for it are his Kade boys.
Wow. This man knows how to get his money.
I know, exactly.
I would do that too, if 100%.
And he'll make more bad dating advice videos. He hasn't given up. And all the comments will be like, oh, are you only making these Kade Board?
Wow. Okay, and so you think that if one of my listeners showed up to Thanksgiving dinner and just walked up to their 15-year-old cousin or niece or nephew and said, hey, is that a Kade board?
Well, yes, especially because this guy, I kind of buried the lead here, he makes cooking videos. Predominantly are him cutting things on a cutting board. They call it his Kade board.
I'm not on that part of TikTok.
Yeah. So he cuts things while being like, you want to know how you can get a woman on a date with you is you have to, ask her what makake she uses. And it's
he does cooking or dating advice?
He does both. Yeah, he gives you bad advice while he's cutting things on a cutting board. I
don't generally, Lucy, criticize your generation's taste in entertainment, but that's such a lame thing to go viral. I just have to say. But you think that my listeners, nieces and nephews and young cousins will know what this is a reference to, Kade board?
Yes. Maybe not, but they will know what Kade board is.
They will now.
Okay.
They will.
Are your people talking yet about the Keith Lee controversy?
No.
No?
You told me about that, actually.
Okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's another fun TikTok.
That is a
Google
fun one.
Keith Lee Atlanta. It's one of the most fun things to happen on social media in many a moon. Okay. So that's so random. I'm not tracking with that one as much as I am tracking with
Well, no, because
the one guy yelling at the other guy.
We think that he is so lame for doing that. Like, we think he is the lamest man alive. So we're trying to bully him to
I
stop
see.
making these
No,
really
bully in a fun way. We don't
bully in a
support
fun way.
like
Yeah.
We're not like internet trolls like the
No.
people who come on my page like you
Exactly.
suck. We're
No.
bully in a fun in a spirit of camaraderie.
Exactly.
sort
And
of
people
way.
are making like remixes of his song.
Oh yeah,
and-
that's what you said. They've kind of turned him into a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just really think that it is one of my favorite things because he can't live it down. No matter what he makes, he's Kade bored.
Okay. Well, so bring this up, float that subject with the high school age kids at your holiday family celebrations. And Lucy, I want to say, so we were talking about people yelling at other people in Ubers while getting yelled at by Uber drivers. And you are, I think, the only one of our children so far to have tried teen Uber. Twice, right?
Twice.
And I was telling them in a previous episode, teens can now call Uber themselves, ages 13 and up. This is not a promo, so I'm leaving money on the table. I just tried it because I take Uber all the time myself. And so they can, and then as a parent, I get an alert that says where they are. I can track the progress and all that. And you've liked it, right?
Yeah. I mean, one time my Uber driver was really loudly on the phone, but he was speaking a language I didn't understand, so it was like I couldn't listen in on his conversation.
Shame.
Exactly.
You could probably get one of those like translation
True,
apps.
I should have
like
done that.
Yeah. You should be. Excuse me. What language are you speaking so that I can get in on this conversation? Well, better than trying to talk to you. That's my only complaint about Uber is when I have to be an extrovert for the ride. That's very difficult. But yeah, that is. I really need my listeners to know about this. That ages 13 plus can call their own Ubers. I think you should get your kids set up with an account, even if you don't plan to use it. If they were ever to be in a situation, let's say there's a spend the night, someone over there is getting a little weird, and they can't get in touch with you or something, they could just Uber home. I think it's good to have it as a backup, and Lucy's done it twice now and had a good experience. Well, Lucy, Caitlin, hit the applause button for Lucy. Lucy Fulwiler doing an excellent job. So with the young people in your life that you're hanging out with during the holidays, bring up Kade board, just Mr. Beast in any capacity, and then Dream and Gumball, and see if they know what you're talking about. And I think that you will get great conversations going. Lucy, give me 5. You are free to do whatever. Caitlin and I will be watching football after this taping. Let me just say, Caitlin and I are playing each other. Oh, you can head. I'm talking to my listeners here. Caitlin and I are playing each other in fantasy football this week. My team is called the Mermaids. Let's just see what chance the Mermaids have of winning. 1%. 1%. Can't beat the goat. Can't beat the goat over here. Caitlin and I are the only women in our fantasy football league. It's a bunch of men who have been following football all their lives. They've been doing fantasy football for 20 years. And Caitlin is rolling over all of them. She is number 1. She's number 1 in the league. So I am happy to lose to her because she's showing the boys how it's done. And her quarterback even got a very unimpressive amount of points this week. And yet she's still rolling over the Mermaids. So congratulations to Caitlin on her tremendous upcoming victory over my team and maintaining her number 1 spot in our fantasy football league. I'm telling you guys, do fantasy football next year. It's so much fun. All right. I read the Apple podcast reviews. I'll briefly tell you the comedy special filming was so good. It was so good. Caitlin was there. What do you think?
Oh, it was amazing. It was so much fun.
Yeah. And my second audience was not the least drunk group of people I've ever been around. There was a little bit of chatting, a little bit of yelling, and it was tempting to feel frustrated, like, hey, I'm doing a taping. I spent a not insignificant amount of money on this. Like, let's not talk. But then I reminded myself they're happy to be here. They're excited. And it wasn't just one group. There were just people throughout the crowd that kept doing that. And I thought, you know what? They're chatting because they're excited. This is a good problem to have. And yeah, I just learned, I was talking about this on the Village Hustle Patreon, the one this week, is episode, 17, right?
Yes.
Village Hustle 17. It's the whole behind the scenes. I start the day before I headed down for the filming, and that's when I laid out, here's how much money I'm spending, here's the risk that I'll lose it. Hi. And then here's why I made that financial decision. I went into all of that. That's episode 17, just came out this week. And again, you unlock all the archives when you join the Village Hustle Patreon. Link in the show notes, patreon.com/thisisjen. That's Jen with one N. And so I went into that behind the scenes, but yeah, what I learned, it goes back to leadership, basically, that everyone in the group will match your mood. And this is true whether you are filming a stand-up comedy special or whether, for Maria, my 16-year-old listener, it sounds like she babysits her younger siblings. And so, Maria, let me tell you, you are a stand-in for your parents when they are out, and you are a babysitter. And so if you start getting angry and frustrated, then everyone is going to feel angry and frustrated. When you are the leader of any group, in a parenting role, in a business role, people will match your mood. So one of the things that you will see, one of the things that happened, actually, Caitlin, I haven't told you this yet. So 15 minutes before we started recording this episode, I got the first cut back so that I can decide which elements from each filming I want to use. We did 2 shows. The reason you do that is so that if I stumble a word or I miss a punchline or something in one show, we can use the footage from the second show. So that's what I'm doing right now, is choosing which to use. So Caitlin, I do not like how the camisole looked.
No, the one in the jacket?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Do you remember what happened with that?
Yep, I sure do.
Okay. So, leadership lesson moment. Do some storytelling music, Caitlin. Okay. This makeup artist is so good. Her name's Leah. Fantastic. Crush it. You'll see my makeup looks excellent. She gave me such good counsel. She did my hair perfect. 10 out of 10. She was done. I couldn't leave well enough alone. And I said, my face is looking a little dry. Could we do some spray on it, some setting spray, just to give it a little bit of hydration? We did, and it was an oil-based spray, and it got on my satin camisole that I was wearing under the jacket. There were splotches. And all of us, Caitlin, Leah, myself, in horror, realized it wasn't coming out. And I was on stage in 15 minutes. And I had 2 back-to-back shows. So there was no option of, let's get a ton of water on this and maybe we can dry. There was no time because I couldn't push the show. Because another thing is the crew, the director told me, he said, look, we got a lot of guys here. There were 8 crew? I mean, it was a bigger crew than I expected. It was a 5-camera shoot. They had 8 or 9 employees there. And he said, look, we get into overtime. These guys have families. They've been here since 11 a.m. We do need to watch time. Even if the fans don't mind if we push the shows, the crew has lives, and overtime is very expensive. Yeah. So, and of course, I wanted to respect their time. They don't need to stay all night for my mess. So what would you do, friends? You now have an oil-based product on your satin camisole. for something that you invested a lot of money in. Okay. So first of all, you guys know what I did. I was a good leader. I took responsibility for the situation. Because look, I could have covered up my shirt. And so Leah, the makeup artist, commented on that later. Because I said to a couple people, I said, I kept saying we. I was like, we got some stuff on the outfit. And she said, I'm surprised you're saying we because it was me. And I said, no. It was absolutely we. I own this. It's not, I know how the laws of physics work. If you spray something, it can fall down onto what's below it. I'm a makeup expert. I know as much about makeup as anyone. I know that these products are often oil-based. So she was the one who actually sprayed, but I'm the one who requested it. I have arms. I could have covered up my outfit. So no, it was a we situation. So I said, no. I fully take responsibility for this. And so Caitlin, was it you who suggested turning it backwards? Someone had that genius idea.
No, I think it was actually Leah. She's the one that mentioned turning it around.
Yeah, so someone was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, because we were like, what would it look like if we turned it around? Mm-hmm. So sure enough, I turned it around and it looked pretty good, but the V, it's a V-neck shape, was definitely much higher turning it around. So I do not love the way that looks. It definitely, it looks like I'm being like overly modest, like I'm Amish, wouldn't want you guys to see my collarbones because I have some sexy collarbones. And so
that's not what we're about.
I wore my modest outfit for the comedy special filming because, man, the depravity of some people on the internet, that's not even a joke. Like I do, you got to cover your collarbones because, man, these people deeply need help. I don't like the way it looks. It's cut way too high. It doesn't work with that jacket. But see, that's why I ended up in comedy and not motivational speaking or something else, because I just have to be a clown. That's all I have to do with my job. No one needs to expect anything of me in terms of class or grace or fashion, whatever. You know what's funny is I just hired a stylist. I'll talk about this at some point on the Village Hustle Patreon too. But I decided to make that investment. It actually wasn't that expensive. It's actually, I pay 3 times as much for my stupid email list thing, which you should sign up for because I'm paying so much money for it. Link in the show notes, get on my email list. Than I do for this stylist. I mean, it's crazy. So I was going to give her credit in this special, but honestly, she might not want credit now because my jacket and the cut of the satin, I just don't. You know what? Here, I've got it right here. I'll just pull it up. That's what I'll do. I will just pull it. You guys are seeing something I'm not supposed to show anyone. I just got this. Okay, here we go. I will mute it. Now this is very rough. It's not color corrected at all. It's completely washed out. You can't see anything. I'm just holding up my laptop here. But okay. So those of you on YouTube, both of you can see this. I need to move my hand here. Jen, move your hand. Move your hand. Okay, I'm just not. There we go. There you go. See what I mean? Wow. Well, evidently I never let people actually see it. Oh, also my hair was sticking to some wardrobe tape we used. So we've got my hair sticking to the wardrobe tape. And Caitlin, can you see there how high that V is? But luckily I cover it with the mic a lot.
Yeah, you can see it. I mean, I don't think it looks bad in my opinion, but you could see it.
Okay, but you wouldn't be like, I can't watch this crap.
No.
Look at how high that V is.
She's too modest for me.
Too modest.
I can't do it.
Too modest. I wanted
she?
sexy Jen to show up and this is modest Jen. We can't do that. All right. So those of you on YouTube, you got a very sneak preview. I probably wasn't supposed to show anyone that. And again, it will look much better. So that they could upload it faster. This is a very low res, not color corrected, whatever. So that happened. And then when I first got on stage, I thought the audio was cutting out. It's high pressure. I had a lot of money in this to potentially lose. It's not something you can do over. But so that's why, remember this for the holidays. Remember this. everyone will match your mood. So how you respond to things is how everyone in the room is going to respond to things. And now for my legions of child listeners who are under 18, I will say if you are one of the older kids in your family, you have way more influence than you think you do on the tone of the room. And I think you guys don't sense that because you're not adults. So you're counting on us adults to have our act together. You can turn around an entire event by just being positive and seeming happy to be there. I mean, you actually have a lot of influence even when your parents are around. So I just tried to keep that in mind, that here is my very simple decision tree when it's a high pressure event and things are not going as I would have had them go. I ask myself, can I do anything about this? Can I jump in a time machine and undo this? And if the answer is yes, then do that. If you can do something about it, then go fix it. But if you can't, then pretend that it's what you wanted. You play the hand you're dealt like it's the one you wanted. In summary, change it or choose it. Change it or choose it. How is this podcast free?
I don't know.
I demand to know. Everyone's out there listening to all these other podcasters talk about their nonsense, and I'm dropping hot fire content on people and just getting no credit for it. Change it or choose it. That's my motto. So when I got the stain on my camisole, minutes before I had to be on stage, change it or choose it. Can I change it? Yeah, sort of. I can turn the camisole around, but now I don't love how this does not look that great with that jacket. So I have a choice. I can have a stain on, for my special, a very noticeable stain right front and center. Yep. Or I can have a cut that I don't love, or I can take the camisole off and just put this thing out on OnlyFans and actually start to make some money in my career. So that's a third option. And then you just make your choice. So I decided, okay, for me, the best option is OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding. I decided for me, the best option is to just turn it around and have it's clean, but it's just a cut that I don't think it hits the right way, but whatever, at least it's clean and there are not stains on it. And then you have to pretend like it is the choice you want. Like choose it, meaning yes.
This is our life. Yes.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I would not have it any other way. So let's say it's the holidays, okay? And let's say your aunt shows up who's a problematic person, not the least toxic person you know, and you had specifically asked her, hey, could we maybe, I don't know, I thought we could like have a nice time this holiday season, and she shows up wasted and is just talking smack. Change it or choose it. Make a decision quickly. Are you going to make her leave? Or you can say, I know when I will make her leave. You know, if she punches my husband in the face like she did last year, then that will be the line, you know, that she like, you know, if she tries to start like riding the dog like he's a horse again, like that. So that will be, we'll ask her to leave. So you could say, okay, I'm not changing it right now, but I know when I will. Or if you decide it would make too much of a scene, you know, like grandma kicked me in the shins last time I kicked out Aunt Cheryl. If you decide, I think I just can't ask her to leave, I think we're stuck with this, then you choose it. Then you start saying, you know, this is fun, actually. Like this, it was going to be a little boring, but now we're going to mix it up. Go all in. Bring up politics. Be like, so Trump, you know, Trump, Biden, what do we think? I mean, just like go all in. Like this, there was an episode a while back. It's called Make Memories. Caitlin, see if you can look up which number that is. It's called Make Memories. But really, it was about making lore. If you are trying to have a nice magical time and make special memories with your family, and it has become clear to you that that's not in God's plan for your life today, ain't gonna be no magical, smiley little memories happening this time, then you go all in and you make lore. You lean into it. What?
Episode 164.
Episode 164. Make lore. I should go back and change the name of it because it's not about making memories. It's about making lore. So what you do is you're just like, Aunt Cheryl, I bet you couldn't dance on the table. You mix it up. You just make it interesting. You work with what you've been given. And so that's what I just decided to choose it. I was like, this special is going to crush with the Amish community. With conservative Mormons are going, like, this will be like, I mean, they'll get the whole tabernacle together to watch this with my conservative dress. Dude, my Abu Dhabi tour is going to be incredible. After I hit Lagos, I will go over to all of the Arab Emirates. There are 9 of them. I will have you know. I will hit I'll hit all the Arab Emirates. I'll hit Saudi Arabia could be really big there because I am now dressed conservatively enough. Just do a little AI, head covering on there. Like this is going to be huge in the countries of people that are interested in women dressing very conservatively. Choose it. Change it or choose it. If you can't change it or you've done everything you can to change it and it's still not optimal, now is the time to choose it. Change it or choose it. Now, we're just kind of now getting to the main topic. And in my defense, it's because it's depressing and annoying and it's not like a nice holiday topic. So I think I've been I think I've been delaying on getting to it. So if you wanted a holiday episode of a podcast that was like, friends, let's go over our gratitude journals together. I have so much to be grateful for this year. It's just incredible. Life is perfect. This ain't it. Pull up another podcast. Put Bible in a year. I'm sure Father Mike Schmitz has lovely things to say on his podcast. I do have a lot to be grateful for. But
there is that one thing.
I really like the Seinfeld Festivus idea of like the airing of grievances. Like that's always the mood I'm in during the holidays. Listen, trailblazing, okay? A lot of us are doing something very different than the generations before us did. And it makes life frustrating and depressing and difficult a lot of the time. We are recording this during Thanksgiving week. I am really feeling my status as victim of the demographic apocalypse this particular week. Because I never knew my grandparents on my mother's side of the family. So I have no holiday memories with them. I did know my grandparents on my father's side of the family. And Thanksgiving was always our big holiday. That was like a big thing. And I have lovely memories of Thanksgiving of years gone by. The problem is that everyone on that side of the family is dead or never existed. So I am finding myself yearning for yesteryear this time of year. And here is the way the human psyche has evolved to deal with that. You think, oh, sad that Papa and Nanny are dead. Sad that my father is dead. Would that he could have not died a night before one of my stand-up comedy shows that I couldn't cancel, but that's how life is. But then what the human psyche does is you turn to your village. You call up your sister. You call up your brother. You call up your other sister or your other brother or the other one. If you'd like to reminisce about your grandparents, you call up one of your 20 cousins and you say, gosh, I was just remember that Thanksgiving when Papa, did this and that. And do you remember how Aunt so-and-so would always bring the fruitcake? Do you remember that? And preferably you are actually celebrating holidays with these people. So you are having these conversations in person. Me having those kinds of conversations would be talking to a hand puppet. It would just be me being a ventriloquist. Like, do you remember Papa? Yes, I sure do. Because I do not have siblings, and my father didn't have siblings. So I'm all that's left. I'm all that's left. I told you guys a while back, I wanted to know what my grandmother's birthday was. Who would I ask? I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Answer that question for. I want to know what. I was like, oh, what was Nanny's birthday? Who would I ask? My dad's dead. He did not have siblings. I don't have siblings. I don't have cousins on that side of the family. I don't have aunts. I don't have uncles. Who would I ask? There's nobody left. And by the way, my parents got divorced many years ago. So my mom might know some of this, but I mean, they got divorced like the year I got married. That was fun. That was made my wedding feel very special. It was like, well,
Cool.
We could say till death do us part, but let's be real. There's no one to even ask. I had to look up my grandmother's birthday on Ancestry.com. I actually had a podcast listener send it to me last time I said that,
really?
which I thought that was very sweet. So you guys look out for me. That's how you process loss and grief, is with your village, with your community. And then on my mom's side of the family, I've never lived near those cousins. I have 4 surviving cousins on that side of the family, but we've never lived near each other. I like them a lot. I think they're great, but I've never seen them more than once every 2 years. We don't keep in touch really. I mean, we'll text each other happy birthday or something. Sometimes if their schedules line up when I'm in their town, they'll come to one of my shows. If I weren't a touring comic, I would, in the past 10 years, I would have seen my cousins twice. And as it is, I've seen them 4 times maybe in the past 10 years. Wow. And because those grandparents died young, I'm the oldest living of the cousins. They don't remember those grandparents at all. I barely, I have vague, I basically don't remember them. So my cousins definitely don't. So there are no family traditions. There's no, we didn't get together, for Thanksgiving or anything like that. There just wasn't that family tradition on that side of the family. So the only kind of, holiday-ish memory type things I have relating to family are on the side of the family where everyone's dead. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and Merry Christmas. That's what you get from this podcast, man. If you get depressed during the holiday season, this is the podcast for you. I don't get depressed. I just realize I'm living in a demographic apocalypse. So it's just super sad and pathetic. And so my mom is going to visit her boyfriend's family. And she ran that by me. She was like, would that bother you? Blah, blah, blah. It's fine. I said, no, you should go hang out with them. So we wanted to do a big, family Thanksgiving, but there's no one to invite. It's me and Joe and the kids, and that's it. Because my mom is out, because his mom is deceased. His dad is deceased. My dad is deceased, and my mom's out of town. There's no other family to do Thanksgiving with. So I'm ready to lean into it and just do Textgiving.
You need me to show up?
Yeah, that's right.
I'll drink a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll be the crazy aunt.
yes. Caitlin she can make up for the whole extended family, and I need you to play a bunch.
Roles.
Yeah, right. So first you can be drunk, but then you need to be the religious aunt. So you could be drunk but still playing the religious aunt. Like, nobody respects God in this family anymore. Caitlin could play all the roles. Actually, I like that idea. I like that. You know what else I like? Let's do. For those of us who have no living family, let's do text giving.
Oh, yeah.
Where we just stay in bed all day and text each other memes to the group chat.
I like the sound of that one, too.
Can we just make this easy? Let's just do that, because as it is, I'm going to have to do all of this cooking. Like, for what? I mean, I shouldn't say for what. Okay, look, magical memories with us and the kids. But as I've said before, I feel like I spend plenty of great time with the kids. I feel very connected to them. And let me tell you, when you have a family where there are 8 people in the house and 6 of them are severely neurodivergent, getting people to sit still at a dinner table is very difficult. My 2 kids, actually Lucy, who was just on the show, being one of them, her and her youngest brother, they are normal people. They could sit through a dinner and they'd be like, wow, this is great. It's really nice to catch up. Anyone else have anything they want to share? Not one of us, not me or Joe. None of us could really. We just couldn't do it. So now I'm really ready to have text giving where we just stop this and I don't have to do a bunch of cleanup. We all stay in bed and we send each other silly TikToks all day. That's that. And then I don't have to be depressed that I have no one to share my few family holiday memories with, because I'll be on TikTok all day. This is the Thanksgiving that I want to have. So let's make that a thing. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm not like, I'm for some reason, it's like, it's hitting me harder this year, which is weird because my dad died right before Thanksgiving in 2019 and my grandfather had only died in 2015. So big life expectancy difference between those two, like father and son only dying a few years apart. But yeah, I don't know, for some reason, it's like a delayed reaction. This is, I guess it's because my mom isn't coming over, and then in the past we've had maybe one of my dad's second cousins would join us or something, but this is the first time it's really been there's nobody. We wanted to do a family Thanksgiving, but there's nobody, and I think so this is the one where it's really hitting me, like, we have nothing. Well, and I told you guys I got heirlooms and stuff. Nobody knows what they are. I think some of this stuff came over on covered wagons in like the 1850s. I don't know. And there's nobody to ask. So that's fun. It's fun being the sole survivor of a family lineage in collapse. It's really nice. I enjoy it. Makes the holidays fantastic. Really good. So we're all trailblazers is what I'm trying to say. Maybe you don't have that horrible situation. Maybe you don't sit. You know what I've been doing is I watch Anna from In Honor of Design. I just sit there and I watch her Instagram stories and I'm like, my life is garbage, because she is, I'm telling you, she is just doing life right. I'm so happy for her. They live in this multi-generational community. Grandma lives down the street. She literally has like 9 brothers and sisters, and most of them live near where they live. I mean, if you want to know how much you have been impacted by the demographic collapse in this country, watch the In Honor of Design Instagram stories. And that is the litmus test of how trash your life is in terms of generational continuity. If your reaction is like, yeah, that's pretty much like my life, then great. You guys are 10 out of 10. You're doing really well. If you, like me, are like, this can't be real. This can't be. Her sister just stopped by with a pie. There's no way. Her nieces and nephews who are cousins with her kids, there are like 12 of them over there. They're all reading books together when they're not playing wholesome games outside, jumping in the pile of leaves. Like this, no, this can't be real. If you have that reaction like I do, then you know your life is garbage and you're absolutely a victim of the demographic apocalypse. So the In Honor of Design Instagram stories will let you know where you are on that. And again, I want to say Anna's a friend of mine, and I love what she is doing. I hope that she forever continues the content that she does, because yes, it makes me realize that my ancestors were wrong about all of their most fundamental ideas, but that needs to be said. I mean, she needs to show what life can be when you see the beauty of family and generational continuity and village and just kind of gathering together as a family and as a tribe. So I love her Instagram account. All right. But we're talking about being trailblazers. And so I'm really feeling that this holiday season because I'm trying to start a family where there is a family, where people have memories of grandma and grandpa doing things, where you have cousins that you know and see more than once every 3 years, where people are making memories together. I'm trying to start that. And it's exhausting because when you're going a different direction, honestly, a little bit of trauma can come up because obviously you don't love the way things had been done previously, or else you would be doing that. And I know from people who are, they came from families where there was substance abuse, even physical abuse, there was toxic, difficult things going on. A lot of times that it's hard to turn that corner and do things differently, not only because you've never seen it done, obviously that's the biggest one, but when things like the holidays come up and you're like, ooh, I think I won't do anything my dad used to do during the holidays, which, by the way, my dad was great. I'm using that as an example for someone else, like if you had like a alcoholic father or something like that. It brings up bad memories to have that as a touchstone of like, yeah, so those are my memories and I won't be doing any of that. That can be a difficult thing. And I feel that during the holidays, not that there was that overt, anything overtly traumatic, but just that the loneliness and the isolation that my people chose for themselves and foisted on me. I feel that. I feel that disconnection. I feel that during the holidays that I have no cousins, aunts, or uncles to share memories with. I don't have great aunts. I don't have great uncles on that side of the family. And again, I rarely saw the ones on the other side of the family. And it saps your energy. That's what I was thinking this week. Like, normally, you guys know me. I can be a juggernaut when I want to. I mean, when I decide something's getting done, it's getting done. We're crushing it. It's all coming together. And I'm serious about text giving. I just want to lay in bed all week. If my husband hears this, lie in bed. Caitlin's been a victim of this too. You can't. I live with grammar people. Man, I'm telling you, there's a generational thing. I hope my kids go a different direction. And you can say, I'm going to lay down without someone in the house being like, lie down. It's lie down. I want to lie in bed all week and just like share TikToks with my family and love them that way. And I was thinking, because I'm a woman and a Catholic, I was thinking like, wow, I'm a horrible human being who is just depraved and the worst person. And then I realized, no, it's not. It's that trailblazing takes a lot of energy. When you are trying to go a totally different direction than your family has historically gone, it takes a lot of energy. Maybe you have a different religion than they did. Maybe you have a different number of kids. Maybe you are trying to be mentally healthy and they gave into addiction and toxicity. Maybe, it could even be just like they were messy and you'd like to have a clean house or something like that. That could be my kid's story. But it takes a lot of energy. And I think you especially feel it during the holidays. You will really feel it if you are a family trailblazer during the holidays. You'll really feel it. And so if you feel exhausted and weighed down by life, it might be as simple as you're just doing something different. And, for most of human history, people, they just followed their family traditions, rightly or wrongly. It was just, I've got 5 brothers and sisters. My spouse has 5 brothers and sisters. We're all going to get together. We're going to talk about the people who have passed. Like, we all have these great memories of grandma and what she used to do, and her memory will live on at this tradition, and we'll have that crazy food that our family likes to eat, and we'll have the, fruitcake puree that everyone thinks is gross, but we like, the fruitcake souffle, and we have all those, family bonding moments. And yeah, people would get on your nerves. I mean, I I get it. You know, when you have that village life, people are saying annoying things. They're asking why you've gained weight. They're asking you why you're still single. It can be annoying. I'm not saying it's perfect and idyllic, but the choices are made for you. You just go over to that one family member's house and it's chaotic and it's noisy and it's frankly annoying some of the time, but the choices are made for you. When you are a trailblazer, you have to make all the choices yourself. Required reading for this podcast. If you guys want to really get a sense of how difficult what you do is, I'm dead serious. You should listen to the audiobook or get the book Undaunted Courage. It's about Lewis and Clark. The guy, they were the first people of European ancestry to go from St. Louis to the Oregon coast. And then they made it back too. Seriously, listen to that book. Listen to what these guys had to deal with and think about how vastly different it was for them being, you know, the first people and we actually don't know if anyone ever did it because the tribes that were around there probably didn't go all the way from St. Louis to the coast. So they're probably the first people to have ever done it. I mean, what a nightmare it is. If you're Lewis and Clark, what a nightmare that they're like, they get to these mountains and they're like, we have to mess around with these mountains. Like, this is how are we going to get over this? They're huge. This is insane. A river. How do you cross a river? Think about that. How do you cross a river if you're Lewis and Clark? There are no bridges. How do you cross a river? They're deep. Some rivers are very deep. How do you get, and you have all your stuff. How do you get your stuff across it? How do you get your horses across a river? Today, you drive your Tesla over the river. That's what it's like when you're following a trail that has already been forged. You're in your leather interior vehicle, blasting Taylor Swift, driving over a bridge. If you're Lewis and Clark, you've got snakes swimming all around you. A snake just swam into your pants. A horse just drowned. The river's like 2 miles long. You're like, this is such a nightmare. I wish I just stayed back in St. Louis. Like, why did I ever sign up for this? Oh, and now we have mountains. Great. We get across the river, and now we have mountains. I should do my own rendition of the Lewis and Clark. I should do a one-woman show that's like Fulwiler and Clark. And it would have been me just complaining the whole time. Like, what a nightmare this is. These mountains were so much bigger than I thought they would be. Nobody told me how big they were going to be mountains, but you didn't say how big they were going to be. That would be me.
That would be amazing.
That would be incredible. But I honestly, I'm dead serious when I say it's required reading for this podcast. You should really listen to that audiobook or read the book because there is a very direct analogy there. Those guys, there was literally no trail. They're going through forests, like they have to break through the branches. There's no trail. There's no bridge over the rivers. That is you. If you are being a trailblazer in any area of life. I feel this in comedy all the time. You guys know what's out there in terms of comedy. You guys know what my worldview is. It is exhausting to be someone with a sane worldview that is actually truly pro-woman, that I see the world that way, but like nobody else does. And so I'm this pariah in some corners of the industry. People don't like me. They don't like what I stand for. And you know what? I could go on a tangent about my career, but I'm not going to button. I'm not going to go on that tangent. It's exhausting. And I feel that right now, especially with thinking about putting that special out there. I'm trying to be a trailblazer and do something that not a lot of people with my background have ever done. Name a comedian who came to have a significant voice in the marketplace of ideas, who was actively raising children when that event happened. There are women who had children after their voice was prominent in the marketplace of ideas. And there are women who had more of a voice when they were empty nesters. I can't think of a whole lot of women who were themselves actively raising children who did that, especially that had our worldview, like a pro-family. I'm not complaining about my kids. I'm not saying kids are terrible. I'm not saying kids hold women back. Who had that mentality? Name one. Don't exist. So it's exhausting. It's exhausting to be a trailblazer in terms of family, in terms of religion, in terms of career. Evidently, all I do is blaze trails. That's what I'm learning. And that's why I'm exhausted. And that's why I want to have text giving instead of Thanksgiving, because I'm just hitting a wall with all of this trailblazing. So this has been a really inspiring holiday episode for you. Sorry. I'll bring you Christmas cheer next week. And for Catholic ghetto people, I'll bring you Advent cheer next week. But what I want to leave you with is every single one of you, you're blazing a trail in some way. In fact, for Maria, my 16-year-old listener, I'm sure you have things that are hurtful to you, that are difficult to you. Even if you come from a loving family, it will happen that your mom and dad does something that it really hurts you, or something happens at school that really hurts you. And you might find that it feels kind of surprisingly traumatic, surprisingly hard to get over. And I think young people these days, they're kind of aware of it. They're like, gosh, I mean, it's not like I grew up in a war zone. I mean, it's, it's weird that this still bothers me because, I mean, my life is all right. Like I'm, nobody's starving over here. It's fine. But to Maria and my other teenage listeners, I would say, for most of human history, kids your age lived in villages where they were constantly surrounded by their extended family. They'd have even young aunts and uncles who were close in age to them. They'd certainly have tons of cousins on both sides of the family who they saw on a daily basis that were running around with them. And that's how you would process trauma. You'd be like, man, my dad was being so uncool. He said this and that. And then your cousin would be like, I know, dude, my dad's the same way. They're brothers. Like, they're crazy like that. And you'd work it out that way. And you young people don't have that. So you are blazing trail too. You're trying to figure out how to craft your identity and get over the little traumas that come up for you in life without being able to work through that difficulty in a village setting. And that's really hard and it's exhausting. And so if you feel tired all the time, that's one of the key reasons. Also, just like being in schools all day is exhausting, but you're blazing trail too. We all are. And I think 99.9% of you are doing something significantly different than your ancestors did in your phase of life. You're not just relying on the old family traditions. So give yourself a break, especially during the holidays. If you feel extra tired, if you feel extra kind of worn down by life, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's probably that you are just a trailblazer. And that is it for this episode. Come to my Austin show, Feast of St. Nicholas. I can never tell you the exact dates because I'll mess it up. December 6th. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Coming right up. It's going to be incredible. We have so much fun at that show. That is my last show of the season. So come to my show in Austin, Texas. Bonus content that we are starting right now on Patreon, patreon.com/thisisjen. And we will be back with you next week.